Hey, I'm James Burnham. Thanks for joining me. I am doing a segment here where I react spontaneously to a video that I'm watching that I haven't seen before. And this one is Simon Sinek, Start With Why. It's his TED Talk. We're going to find out what he has to say and see what I have to think about it. Here we go.
I call it the golden circle.
The golden circle. You got why in the middle and then
Why,
two other.
how, what. This
Why,
little
how, what.
idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization...
This is an interesting thing. If you read a book called Peak Performance, it's the study that these men did. They were both at the top of their respective industries, and they burned out, and they left their industries never to return. And they thought, how do people never burn out? How do they keep going? What are the attributes? And one of the key attributes of performance that people that can perform over decades at the highest levels is belief. The why. That's what he's talking about. What is your internal drive, your internal belief? Why am I doing this? Not to make money. What is it that I am fulfilling within this? And that's what he's saying. It's powerful, powerful performance technique.
Organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning?
Why do you get out of bed?
And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done, that's how most sales is done, and that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do, we say how we're different or how we're better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one?
Yes, that makes me want to buy an Apple, and I hate Apple. Just that bitch, right? It changes everything because it comes from an intrinsic place of motivation. This is the power of belief. It's not only powerful for ourselves, it's powerful for those that enter in the circumference of who we are. The belief is the why we exist, right? And I hear people all the time say religion is a crutch. And yeah, it is. Absolutely. Belief is a crutch. When things get down in the dumps, when things get hard, when things are really pressuring and you've got to succeed, your belief is the thing that sustains you. It is the crutch you pull out when you're broken to keep going. It is the drive that gets you up in the morning when nothing else will. That why. And that is so compelling, the difference when you hear the pitch of from his outward inwards toward why versus starting with the why and moving outwards. You feel compelled. I want to go buy a Mac computer, though I won't because I personally don't like the makeup of it. I'm an old guy and I'm used to my systems. But the story is compelling. I love the idea of it. I like where it comes from, and it is driven from this center of why do I tick? What makes me work? It's intrinsic motivation versus outward coercion.
Totally different, right? You're ready to buy a computer from me. All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple. But we're also perfectly comfortable buying an MP3 player from Apple, or a phone from Apple, or a DVR from Apple. But as I said before, Apple's just a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. A few years ago, Gateway came out with flat screen TVs. They're eminently qualified to make flat screen TVs. They've been making flat screen monitors for years. Nobody bought one.
He had to switch his mic. He's having technical difficulties during his TED
PDAs.
Talk.
And they make great quality products, and they can make perfectly well-designed products, and nobody bought one. In fact, talking about it now, we can't even imagine buying an MP3 player from Dell. Why would you buy?
I just want to pause for a second because I've watched so many TED Talks, and they have a very kind of refined presentation style that everyone follows and gives. And here's Simon Sinek talking about the why, the core belief, inward, like out, like saying, hey, you got to know what this is. And if you do this, you can sell flat screens. You can sell MP3 players. Let's call it what? This is old. MP3 players are now, I don't even know what, we don't have anything like it because everybody has their music on their phone now. But before you could have your music on your phone through an app, you had an MP3 player, and that's how you would listen. But Apple has all these products, and they can throw anything at you, and you go at it because it's not how they're presenting, it's why they're giving you this that compels you. It's the drive from within. And here's Simon Sinek giving a TED Talk. He's got a little whiteboard he's drawing on with a felt marker in his little way, just kind of giving this discussion. He is not the center of the stage presence that many of these TED Talk people deliver. But you know what? We are compelled to watch him because Simon Sinek himself knows what his why is. He knows what he's about. And he is giving you information that originates from that belief within himself of what he is offering to make your world better. And so we watch him right on this board, just like we accept all these things from Apple that we won't accept from Gateway or IBM or Dell or whatever, right? Because he himself is living what he's telling us. It's really, it's outside of what he's saying, but I think it's really compelling to watch.
From a computer company, but we do it every day. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. When we communicate from the outside in, yes, people can understand vast amounts of complicated information like features and benefits and facts and figures. It just doesn't drive behavior. When we communicate from the inside out, we're talking directly to the part of the brain that controls behavior, and then we allow people to rationalize it with the tangible things we say. And
I love this. So we, in our society, have placed so much emphasis on empirical decision-making, logic, the power of making a decision outside of an emotional makeup. We love that concept, and it's so clean and refined. And yet, all of science has shown that that is literally an impossibility. We do not make our choices free of emotion. We like to pretend we do, that it's purely logic, but it is not. And there's a book called How We Make Decisions that I read, and it's a neuropsychologist that wrote the book, and he looks at instances where the emotional center of the brain is damaged in people due to strokes or injuries, whatever happens, and logically they're perfectly functional. They can talk, they can engage, they can reason, but they send these people home and they cannot function in their daily lives. That person without an emotional center will take 3 to 4 hours just to tie their shoes because they can't figure out logically the very best way to tie their shoe. They need an emotional belief of what is the best in order to make the logical choice. Isn't that fascinating? And this is what he's telling us. He's saying we are not driven by data and statistics. That's why our belief systems, when you see somebody that has a belief system that you don't believe, it's very easy for you to poke logical holes into their belief, because belief is outside of logic. It stands outside. And so your belief system doesn't have to be founded deep in logic. It has to be something that is steeped in who you are, the makeup of what you feel. And that becomes the compelling drive that people watch, that draws everything that you do to this product that you're delivering, or to you, whatever it is that you do. It's the why.
Things we say and do. This is where gut decisions come from. Sometimes you can give somebody all the facts and your figures and you say, I know what all the facts and details say, but it just doesn't feel right. Why would we use that verb? It doesn't feel right. Because the part of the brain that controls decision-making doesn't control language. And the best we can muster up is, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Or sometimes you say you're leading with your heart, or you're leading with your soul. Well, I hate to break it to you, those aren't other body parts controlling your behavior. It's all happening here in your limbic brain, the part of the brain that controls decision-making and not language. But if you don't know why you do what you do, and people respond to why you do what you do, then how will you ever get people to vote for you or buy something from you, or more importantly, be loyal?
Wow. Yeah, so that's a really powerful dissertation on the importance of your why, your core belief, not only for yourself, well, specifically in this situation, he talks about for the importance of a company, but he reverts it back to yourself. And it really is so important. It is a defined performance attribute. If you do not have a belief to follow your why and why you're acting, you will not have the tenacity to hold up against what you're about to face in order to succeed at whatever it is you want to do. If you do not have your why, you will not convince people to follow you and be inspired and buy and help you build whatever it is you want to build, because the logic of it is not going to really reach people. Everyone, though they want the logic, they really, really want the emotional understanding of why you want to do this, why this should happen. Powerful, powerful reconstructing of how to really have a significant impact in anything you do, whether that be business, friendship, whatever space you're working in. I love Simon Sinek. I wish I could make up a conversation like how to, start with why, like he did. Very cool. It was a fascinating performance, or fascinating talk. Anyway, so if you want to see more of Simon Sinek, check him out on YouTube. He's got great stuff. I like this guy. This is a great conversation around the why. Coming up, got a video called Ranking Strangers by Attractiveness. It's a fun one. I think you'll like it. I'm James Burnham. Thanks for joining me.